Hello, everybody. This is Card Guy Chris Ellis,
What collectible, Chris?
and we will be talking about.
The Super Bowl that happened between the Eagles and Chiefs. We'll also talk about the award winners as well as the Hall of Fame class, and would you like to talk about Elimination Chamber as well?
Actually, I did not watch it, so you can talk about it if
No.
you want to.
Okay. First off, the Super Bowl was a very dramatic game. Unfortunately, I was only able to see highlights. I thought Peacock was going to have it again this year. Unfortunately, they did not. But Jalen Hurts was a freaking machine, like I predicted that he was. Eagles had a great first half, and I thought the Eagles would win it. But once again, the Chiefs came back in the second half just like they did against the Niners a few years back, and it's like, boom, pick six, destroyed them, and that big punt return as well.
No.
Also got them back into distance, but Pat Mahomes was not that really impressive in the Super Bowl. 182 yards passing. He had 3 passing touchdowns, but Jalen Hurts, 304 yards passing with a TD to A.J. Brown. And Hurts also rushed for 70 yards and had 3 rushing touchdowns. And like I predicted, if Hurts runs on that defense, it will be trouble. And it was trouble. And,
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, the best receiver was Devontae Smith, who had 100 passing yards. But throughout that whole game,
You mean 100 receiving yards?
100 receiving yards, yeah, Devontae Smith did. Throughout the whole game, though, it felt like the refs were on the Chiefs' side a little bit. There were 3 catches that the Eagles made. One to Quiz down the sideline, one to Devontae Smith with a huge catch on the sideline, and also A.J. Brown down the middle, which got overturned. Which even looking at the replay, I honestly think they should have been catches. And one little passing interference of where the guy just shoved him a little bit. That's not a pass interference call. A pass interference call is when you hold on to the receiver for so long that once the ball is passed, it's in the general vicinity. Correct?
Well, I mean, you can't touch the receiver 5 yards after 5 yards, but we know that the touching the receiver and everything, or the corner or whatever player going with the receiver down the field, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think they called that call because they messed up the call in the first quarter. That was like that, and I think there was a makeup call. If it was a makeup call, it's probably the wrong time to have a makeup call. I mean, the Chiefs would still kick the field goal, so they would still been up. So there's no telling what would have happened. I mean, but I think that the Philly defense just did not play well in the second half.
I mean,
Chiefs,
the both defenses actually did not play well at all.
The Chiefs scored on every possession they had in the second half. So
yeah.
yeah. And the Eagles did not take advantage of the young secondary or the young defense that the Chiefs had in the second half.
Yeah.
I mean, you got 5 rookies that are in their first Super Bowl. You should be able to do something against them.
Yeah, I mean, if Hurts did what he did in the first half, honestly, it would have been fine.
Yeah, I mean,
but it was an offensive shootout.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good game all in all. I mean, it wasn't boring, that's for sure.
And I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Rihanna's halftime show. I watched that. It wasn't bad. But which one was better, Rihanna's halftime show or Chris Stapleton's 2-minute Star Spangled Banner?
Oh, I think the Star Spangled Banner wasn't bad.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was amazing.
So,
I thought Chris did a great job.
But you know, yeah, I mean, you look at that. I mean, also, I mean, you look at the awards that were given out to that Thursday before. You know, you look. I mean, we got. Let's go down the list and talk about them.
So you want to start MVP and go down?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so Pat Mahomes, and actually the first MVP in a minute to win the Super Bowl.
Since Kurt Warner.
Sure, since Kurt Warner, and I mean a lot of first 2 black quarterbacks to go against each other in the Super Bowl. 2 brothers facing each other in the Super Bowl. Us being in Mississippi, 14 players in the Super Bowl.
Pretty impressive.
Which is amazing. I mean, of course, the biggest. Honestly, I didn't know A.J. Brown was. I didn't know Gardner Minshew was from Brandon, Mississippi. I knew about Quez being from USM because I went to USM. So
Yeah.
but I mean, a lot of firsts for the Super Bowl, which was great.
Yeah.
Dang, there was another first that I just said before the show. No. That's gonna be on the awards. But Pat Mahomes, I don't discredit his ability at all. So I understand him why he got the MVP. I honestly, because I think it was between him and Hurts by a few votes.
Yeah, Hurts probably would have won it if he didn't get hurt.
Oh yeah,
yeah, he probably would have won it. But I mean, it was a close vote. So I think
AP Coach of the Year is actually the guy I said, Brian Double, for the Giants.
Yeah, that kind of shocked me a little bit. But hey, I mean, the Giants had a great year, great turnaround, made the playoffs. So yeah, I think that was pretty good.
I mean, he took the the dead last team to the playoffs and be a Super Bowl contending team.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm okay with that. AP Comeback Player of the Year was Geno Smith from the Seahawks. Highly agreeable.
Yeah, I can go with that.
Especially since he was in MVP talks as well through the first half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
AP Offensive Player of the Year, you called it Justin Jefferson. Now, I think we both... I said Derrick Henry. I think you said Justin Jefferson at the beginning, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was just weird seeing it was a pretty good selection of AP players. I mean, most of the time the MVP and the offensive player do not match.
Right.
So, I mean, and Jefferson did have a good year. So, I mean, it's weird to see, but it's not bad.
I think they try not to give it to a quarterback. I mean, it's almost like with the O'Brien Maxwell Award and the
Walter Camp.
Yeah.
The Maxwell and the Heisman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of almost the same theory,
AP Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, I didn't know Nick was going to have an explosive year, but Nick Bosa got the Defensive Player of the Year. I highly agree with that. 18.5 sacks this year. So, I mean...
Yeah, I don't think that was a bad selection at all.
The Rookies of the Year, both offensively and defensively, for the first time ever, is from the same team. The New York Jets have both Rookies of the Years on both sides of the ball. Garrett Wilson, wide receiver... Outstanding year. If Brees Hall, we keep on saying it, if Brees Hall didn't get hurt, Brees Hall would have ran away with it easily.
Yeah, it still would have been two Jets getting the...
Yeah, exactly. The Jets had the best rookie class out of last year. I don't think anyone will disagree with that.
No.
And I still disagree with this just because I don't think he really gave enough. But Dad's pick, Sauce Gardner from the Jets. I'm not gonna discredit Gardner's ability. He is very versatile, a good coverage guy. I think it was because of his pass deflections that actually helped him out. So. Yeah,
I mean he was not thrown. It's almost like Revis. You don't throw against him. You know what I mean? Yeah. Then when you do, he makes a play. So if you don't throw him the ball, you can't do nothing. You throw to that receiver, you can't do nothing. So
yeah,
I mean,
we're not gonna do the next gen stat movie of the year, are we?
No, I think we all know that Justin Jefferson got it against the Bills for that one play.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Kittle would have... I think Kittle was second place, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Playoffs, yeah. And the Walter Payton Award went to Dak Prescott for the Dallas Cowboys. No. Because he's been doing his charity for 4 years now.
Actually, I think he had started when he was at Mississippi State. But he's been, I mean, it's grown since he gone to the NFL, so yeah.
All right. And the Hall of Fame class was announced. Yeah. And highly agreed with this class. Few players I wish was in it, but we do have 3 first ballot Hall of Famers, right? Or just one? Because
Joe's a first timer.
Yeah, because everyone else has been in it for a minute.
Yeah, Zach's not at first. Revis is the first, I think.
Okay, so 2.
Rondé's been there before, so is DeMarcus. Yeah, I think there's 2 first time. I think there's 2 first timers. I think.
All right, so Buccaneers, all time great Rondé Barber,
mm-hmm.
Revis Island, coolest nickname in the game. Darrelle Revis, first ballot Hall of Famer. Joe Thomas, offensive lineman, first ballot Hall of Famer. Cannot disagree with that with Joe Thomas. He, especially from Cleveland, played for Cleveland for as long as he did and stayed with them. Highly deserved it. Zach Thomas finally got in. One of the best.
You saw who gave him his announcement, right?
No, actually, I did not.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson was the one that knocked on his door.
Oh, okay.
Actually, he was in the house with Zach's family when he came home. So.
Well, I know who gave DeMarcus Ware because I saw that.
Yeah,
DeMarcus Ware got in the Hall of Fame, highly deserving. Great years with the Cowboys and rejuvenated with the Broncos to win that Super Bowl. Don Coryell.
Finally, he deserves it. He's actually the air raids basically based off his coaching.
Okay, gotcha. Chuck Howley.
He played for Cowboys. He actually was the him and Randy White were the dual MVPs.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, Roger Staubach told him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Joe Klecko.
He was a awesome sack guy for the New York Jets of the 70s and 80s.
Oh,
they were part of the sack exchange.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And Ken Riley.
He played back in the AFL days.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely deserving.
Do we want to go through the rest of these?
No, we don't really need to. Pretty.
Because, Josh Jacobs was the Russian leader.
Yeah.
And if y'all are Alabama fans or Raider fans, check out Black Gold Sports Cards eBay store. They have a Mint 10 Optic Josh Jacobs rookie card for bids right now. So, I highly suggest getting that if y'all are Christian McCaffrey fans. Christian McCaffrey Donruss and Donruss Optic rookie cards also on bid right now. Protection Player of the Year was actually given to Kittle. So,
Nope.
Sportsmanship Award. Campbell got it. Okay, good. Now I remember when Campbell was just the new Houston Texans coach got Assistant Coach of the Year, which I highly agree with. Nick Bosa got the Deacon Jones Sack Leader Award. Salute to Service Award was given to Ron Rivera.
Yeah, there was a lot of people for that one. Kittle was up for that one too.
Yeah, and Ground Players of the Year was given to Joe Burrow and Josh Jacobs.
Oh.
That's the first time in a minute that there's been too. So,
yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Did we talk about Rowland getting into the Hall?
Rowland.
Scott Rowland?
No, but we can if you want.
So, we mentioned episode last month that Fred McGriff was voted into the Hall of Fame, well deserved. And at least, some people were so close getting into the Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah, a lot of people are going. I think there's going to be a bigger class next year because of it.
Yeah, and Scott Rowland. Everyone thought he didn't have the numbers for it, but a lot of the writers agreed with his command on the field, his leadership, as well as his defensive presence. Like, when you think of 90s to 2000s, you think of two defensive third basemen, Chipper Jones and Scott Rowland. So Scott Rowland, I believe, is heavily deserved of this honor. He did not have the home run numbers, but he had batting average. He had the walks to strikeout ratio. He even had a lot of hit by pitches, unfortunately. But definitely a good field general. Congratulations to Scott.
Yeah, I agree. I think Rowland deserved. Glad he got in. His home run numbers are not there, but he produced when he needed to, and he's a top 10 all-time third baseman.
Oh yeah,
by WAR numbers.
Oh yeah.
Defensively, he's definitely a top 10 third baseman. There's only a few people that have won more Gold Gloves than he did at that position. Brooks Robinson being one of them and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean Scott Rowland definitely uh, a good one to look at. Next year's class is going to be interesting.
Yeah, because that's gonna be that was Beltron too, or was Beltron this year? I keep
Beltron was this year. He probably got votes taken away because of the cheating scandal. But
Oh yeah.
so
When he was in Houston.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So I mean, he already had his.
Okay, here we go. Got the numbers. All right, so Scott Rowland, the only person that got over 75%. Todd Helton had a big jump.
Yeah, I think he'll make it next year.
He was only 3% off at 72%. So I'm pretty sure he'll get it next year too. Billy Wagner,
He might get in next year. He had a pretty good jump too.
68.1%. Andrew Jones also had a big jump because the year before he was at 20, right?
He was between in the low 20 to 40 range, I think.
And he's at 58.1, which is good. Sheffield also had a big jump.
Which is good because I think he definitely deserves. Toronto, I think, will have a jump.
Yeah, and he was only at 46.5. Jeff Kent.
He'll make it. He's going to make it off the Veterans Committee, I think. I mean, his numbers as a second baseman
is uncomparable to any other second baseman.
He's the all-time home runs leader for second. So I mean.
And he has 46.5%. I mean, which is still good. A-Rod had a spike at 35.5. Manny also had a spike in 33.2. Omar Vizquel, less than 20%. Eddie Pettit at 17. Bobby Abreu was at 15.4.
I think a lot of people are going to end up voting for him later on as they go through. Because if you look at Bobby's numbers, there were some pretty good years in there.
Especially his days in Philly.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy Rollins surprised me the most just because, like, him and Utley should have more votes, in my opinion.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that.
Him at 12.9. Mark Burley, one of the best pitchers in the late 2000s and early 2010s.
Ate a lot of innings. He was an innings eater for sure.
Francisco Rodriguez is mainly a middle relief guy. I don't think he'll get in, but he was at 10.8. The biggest disrespect was Torrey Hunter, though, at 6.9%.
Yeah, but he stayed on the list, which is a good thing. So, I mean, Torrey will get looked at a little bit longer. Torrey definitely deserves a look. I think he is, one of those players that just needs to make sure, his numbers are.
I mean, Omar was in the league for a very long time, but out of all of these, I want to see Torrey make it more just because of how he presented himself on the field.
Oh, he was he was a class act both on and off. So
I would love to see Pettit, but him with the him actually managing steroids, I think will help his case.
Yeah, I think it will too. I think also his numbers in the World Series. And the numbers that he produced, year after year, he'll be there.
Yeah, the ball players that only got one vote and less, Bronson Arroyo. I didn't see him as a Hall of Famer. I mean, he was a decent pitcher for 3 seasons.
I don't see any of these guys that probably deserve long term looks. Maybe Ellsbury, maybe for a little bit, but I mean. Napoli had some good years, but not enough years to. I mean,
here's relief pitchers really don't get a lot of love. I can make a case for Matt Cain.
I mean, he played for the Giants World Series teams and pitched pretty decently, but I mean,
Peralta was a good shortstop. It's just that when he actually took the PEDs that 1 year, and that was his last year. I liked Weaver.
Yeah,
I think he was the ace of the Angels for a very long time.
Yeah,
I mean, you were surprised that I said I collected Jerry Weaver, but I thought he was a great player on and off the field. So.
Not every person we collect is a star,
Yeah, and I mean Jason Worth was also. I mean, he was a cool ball player.
It's
just that injuries killed him.
Yeah.
But out of all these, I mean, R.A. Dickey was just late.
Yeah.
in his career. I
Yeah.
mean, if you're a knuckleball pitcher, I mean, you're not gonna do well. I mean, shoot, Tim Wakefield. I mean,
I love Tim.
uh, John Lackey surprised me a little bit, though. I mean, I can make a case for Lackey just because of the World Series teams.
The Red Sox. Yeah.
And also his playoffs.
Yeah.
His playoffs was actually better than Kurt Schilling, which is still surprising. So, but out of this, I would have made more of a case for Matt Cain.
Yeah, I probably would have made more of a case for Ellsbury.
Okay.
I mean, I liked Andre Ethier too. I thought he was a good ball player, but he was a glue guy. He was a good, team guy. So
And I mean, the Dodgers at that time just had a lot of freaking outfielders.
yeah,
And I liked Ethier too, but I mean,
had Kemp, and stuff like that. So I mean, yeah, I mean, you know how it goes though. I mean, next year's vote should be interesting. So
oh yeah, it will be. All right. So we're officially on the road to WrestleMania, and I mean, shoot, NXT is gonna be interesting with Braun Breaker versus Jinder Mahal for the NXT Championship.
mm-hmm.
But Elimination Chamber, Elimination Chamber was not that bad of a pay-per-view. I think with everyone with Vince McMahon's comeback, yeah, I think that kind of threw everyone over in the loop. But it's just the fact that Triple H is still the one that's trying to build it up where it should be, which I highly agree with. And if I were you right now, go on YouTube and start looking at the WWE Goes Hollywood trailers, because the first one actually was released during an Elimination Chamber. Seth Rollins as Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. It really is funny. I Seth did a really good job with it, because with his dance, Joaquin Phoenix Joker does the dance on the stairs, so that's what he's doing.
Hmm.
So it's good. It's already good so far. I love it. But I'm waiting to see if any of them do a Marvel movie, honestly, because they did the biggest cinematic films in the first WrestleMania Goes Hollywood, and then so we already got a DC movie. I hope they do a Marvel one. I really hope. But Elimination Chamber, Edge and Beth got their vengeance on the Judgment Day. Was a really good match. Really like the exchange between Beth and Rhea was really good. Ending of the match was great with the tag team move given to Finn Balor for Edge and Beth to win. On Monday, Edge is facing Theory for the U.S. belt. He answered the open challenge during the press conference. So that's going to be a good match. And spoiler alert, Elimination Chamber match for the U.S. Championship. Theory retained. Montez Ford had the highlight of the match, in my opinion, when he just dropped onto everybody from the top of the chamber. Gargano's Hurricanrana Seth to the people off the pod was also pretty intense. Bronson Reed. Everyone don't. Some people don't like big men, but Bronson Reed, I liked him along with Keith Lee. Reed does a lot for a big guy, and his splash, the tsunami, fits him perfectly. So, like a big man like that, able to actually take the punishment is good. Damian Priest, I love Damian, him as a babyface, him as a heel. He is a good, outstanding character. If you like him or you don't, good or bad, like he does what he is told to do and he runs with it. Loved his early days against Pete Dunne in NXT. And of course, Logan Paul interferes in the match and actually curb stomps Seth for Theory to do the A downtown to retain. So we already know we're getting Rollins against Logan at WrestleMania, but we already knew that from Royal Rumble. So that's going to be a good match. The women's Elimination Chamber. Liv Morgan took the most punishment and delivered. Raquel Rodriguez, I love Raquel. Really great wrestler. I cannot take anything from. The only person I didn't agree with being in the match is Carmella. Carmella did shine though, but the fact that Asuka did what she does, and Asuka now going back to her New Japan days, it's actually freaky. But now she gets to face Bianca for the championship at WrestleMania. That's gotta be perfect. I think that will be match of the night. Well, match of the weekend, since WrestleMania is usually 2 days now. But the culmination of the Sami Zayn story. When you think of crowds, top 3 crowds, tell me if you agree with me or not.
Mm-hmm.
And it always goes interchangeably. Brooklyn, Chicago, Montreal.
Well, you can put Philly in there too.
I can put Philly, especially when ECW or Paul Heyman's in Philadelphia. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Top 4, yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
80s and 90s with Charlotte. But, I mean, nowadays, the fact that Zayn showed out in a championship match against Reigns retained. Jimmy interfered. Jay came in. Roman gave the chair to Jay. Jay didn't take it. And Roman shoved Jay. And Sami actually haluva kicked Jay out of the ring. Which is good. But after the match, Reigns was beating Zayn up. Kevin Owens came out. Another Canada guy. Stunned everybody, even stunned Paul Heyman, which I thought was hilarious. Go back and just watch Paul Heyman get stunned. If you don't like Heyman, just watch the stun. That's all I'm going to say. And then Zayn delivers another haluva kick. So we're going to see Owens and Zayn against the Usos for the Tag Team Championships, which will be great. I hope it actually officially happens. Because I think we know that Rhodes is officially facing Reigns. I think we already knew that. I think we've known that since Cody came back in WWE, really. But the fact that Elimination Chamber actually had good moments actually solidifies that in the fact that Triple H and the whole new creative team is actually trying to make sure that WWE stays the way it's supposed to be. I mean, really. Have we seen anything bad since Vince McMahon leaving?
No, not really.
I mean, I'll say the Pitch Black match, but other than that, nothing really.
I mean, maybe Mandy getting, let go, but...
well, that's true too.
But other than that, I mean, no.
And Shawn Michaels now basically the general manager of NXT. And him and Grayson Waller basically going after Shawn Michaels right now. I think that's hilarious.
Mm.
And I mean, Shawn's growing his hair again, so maybe we'll see Shawn against Grayson Waller at Stand Up to Deliver. Mm-hmm. But, every single pay-per-view has met its expectations, in my opinion. I mean, even the Royal Rumble. I mean, the Rumble was good.
Mm.
And Elimination Chamber was always one of those pay-per-views you did not care. But last night, I think a lot of people cared, and there were actually things on the line. The U.S. Championship match being defended, I understand. I want to see the Intercontinental Championship defended because I honestly think Gunther's a better champion and a better talent than Theory. So I think that match would have been better, but the fact that they set up multiple things for WrestleMania, it helps out. So... And if Edge wins the U.S. Championship, then we can definitely get Theory versus Cena. Which everyone is saying it's going to happen. And it's okay, the next Vince McMahon protege against Vince McMahon's old protege. So it just depends on everything that leads up to this. And I hope the creative team actually lives up to it.
Mm-hmm. You got anything else?
Did you want to talk about Oh, you already did the cards from your visit to the dugout and everything, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Right now I'm good because I already talked about the Josh Jacobs card and everything else. So, yeah, we can save the basketball for next week. So.
Yeah. All the award winners definitely look at trying to get their cards, and start looking at the new crop of rookies for the draft, especially since the combine will be the first week of March. So, everybody, I hope you have a good day. This is Car Guy Chris Lowe's.
Well, cool. That's Chris.
And we'll be talking to you later. Bye.